Welcome to Fangirl Diaries. This is your fangirl host with the most, Danny, and let's get into today's entry. So, a couple years ago, on the Broadway, when COVID was still awry, there was a little show called K-pop that had come out. It had been off Broadway years before. Lilia's gonna love this story. It did not translate well on Broadway, or it was not given its dues. It was not bad, but there were a couple people in it. More specifically, Luna from FX, very famous SM group. I got to see it a couple weeks before it closed because, again, it was so good, Lilia. Like, I brought my TXT light stick. I felt like if it hadn't been for COVID, consistently shutting it down every couple of days because someone got sick, it would have done so well. So I did what I always do is I stage door. And all the actors actually pointed me out because I had my lights. Well, not all of them, but like a lot of them had noticed me because I was the only one with a light stick. And there was one particular K-pop idol that was in it who, funny enough, me being able to be like, hey, I've met him is kind of like a win, I guess. I don't think my goddaughter, I have godkids, I don't think she likes this. So I don't know if she's a fan. I don't think so. But if she does, God, what a win do I have in my book that I got to meet one of the... what is it? Saja Boys? I'm saying it right. Lilia's mad because I said it wrong earlier, but I don't care because they're boys. So I've met the singing voice of Mystery, Kevin Wu. He was on Broadway years ago. I have a signed playbill by him. He's really good at singing, obviously because he's in a K-pop group. Which one? I don't remember. I'm so sorry, Kevin. You're never going to listen to this. But I don't remember what group you're. He's like in a Gen 2 or Gen 3. I can't remember. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, we're doing K-pop Demon Hunters. So I get like a little push in because I actually have met one of them. Isn't that crazy, guys? I was going to say before he was famous because, again, he was in You Kiss. That's what he was in. Homeboy, by the way, has taken the fact that he's in this movie and really pushed himself out there, and I think he was really smart, him and all the girls, because I think some of the other Soulja Boy singing voices don't really care for the stuff like this because I haven't seen a lot of the other ones, and I mean specifically the singing voices. I don't know much about the actors who voiced them because most of them really didn't have. But he's doing Jingle Ball. He was at New York Comic Con. Like, Kevin, good for you being smart and taking the fact that you were like in this movie, even for like short snippets in these songs, and making them work. Claps for you, snaps for you, my friend. Yeah. He also was like my favorite ship out of all of them. I liked him and Zoe. I was like so into it. The other ones I didn't give a shit about. I didn't care about, was it June and Rumi? Whatever. I want to point out, Sarah, so we're gonna do K-pop Demon Hunters. I am kind of excited to do this. I didn't join the hype train until very, very late. I happen to work in an environment where I deal with a lot of kids and a bit of music. Not to get too into what I do. That's all they were playing all summer, is that they were singing to Golden. I heard it everywhere, obviously, because I'm in the K-pop space. I didn't have access to Netflix until like maybe a month or two ago. Like 3. No, I had it late in the summer. I just was not something I was like jumping into. I have this thing where like when something gets super, super popular, I get into it really, really late. Just because I know want to get so much into the hype train and get like so hyper fixated in it. But since then, I've been to Comic-Con, both San Diego and New York Comic-Con. The amount of increase in prints between San Diego and New York was immensely. Because I think at San Diego, I bought, I want to say almost from every artist, a print that had one. I think there was maybe 4 or 5. A few of them had like Derpy Tiger stickers. And then one of the women who I usually buy a print from, she had these like giant, she does burlesque like drawings. They're really classy, really good. She did like demon ones for both the Soulja Boys, and then she did one for Huntrix, but she only had like giant prints and I didn't want one. She made little ones for New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con, almost every booth had something. There was like a stamp rally for K-pop Demon Hunters that I did. It was so much fun. So that's my little tangent in terms of, hey, we're doing K-pop Demon Hunters and my my kind of relationship with it, because I just was not, it wasn't like that I wasn't looking forward to it when it was first announced. It was just unfortunate that Sony decided to put it on the one streaming service I didn't have. And I figured it was going to be like good. I wasn't sure if it was going to be amazing, because I have to give it to Sony Pictures. They have a very decent track record. And I think when they really let their people work, they bring out some amazing stuff. Because I think before this, I don't know if they had anything else besides, well, they've had other movies, but I mean, like, I don't remember if the last Sony Pictures movie before this one might have been Into the Spider-Verse. I'm not sure. I think there might have been something in between. But when you look at, like, I think some Spider-Verse people might have worked on this. Are you looking it up? It really just shows that when Sony puts to work, they go to work. And I think it's great because they really are showing Disney that, like, hey, you don't have to stick to the basic, like, stories all the time. We don't need enough. I want more princesses, but after they fucked up with Wish, and I know she wasn't technically a princess, I'm kind of like, hey, Disney, maybe kind of go more outside the box. You have so many opportunities to do something really great here. Was it Spider-Man before it? See? You know why? Because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse took so long, and then they still delayed part 3. It's not part. It was part 2 of Into the Spider-Verse, but the third Miles Morales movie, I think it's not coming out 2 years from now, next year. I don't even know. God, but like they really put the effort into it. So, the reason why we're talking about it is our kind of initial first episode. I'm going to give you a behind the scenes type thing because I don't care. Originally, it was going to be My Beautiful Man, which we are going to do as our second episode. This is our first official. The reason why we're doing this now is because the Grammy nominations came out today. Congrats to the team for getting 5 Grammy nominations. Claps, snaps. You don't have to clap that loud, girly pop. I thought you were going to add this in post. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, everybody. Give me a second. I'm literally laughing because I'm trying to look up what the nominations they got, and you kind of threw me off my groove. But this was a big day for the movie, though, because not only were the nominations announced, right? Mattel officially dropped what the dolls are going to look like. We're going to get into the movie in a minute, but I kind of want to get into a lot of the stuff because I'm really interested in how, like, marketing happens for movies like this. Because it is crazy that I will say, in terms of the dolls, they're Mattel collectible dolls. So everyone who's freaking out because they're $150, I'm not surprised. Mattel collectibles tend to be really expensive. If you don't want to spend $150, hold out. They will release cheaper dolls. They did it for the Barbie movie. They released the very expensive, like $50 collectible Barbies, and then they released like the retail ones afterwards. Trust me, they will come out with more stuff. Number 2 was announced, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. It's not coming out to 2029 because Spider-Verse has to come first. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think they should make a second one. It doesn't make sense to make a second one to me. I feel like it's just... What are you going to do for a second movie? It just doesn't make sense to me. You kind of ended it the way you were. Are you going to bring back... like Soulja Boys, because it doesn't make sense not to. What is, I mean, we won't know because obviously it just got announced. So the 5 nominations, and we're gonna do an in-depth Grammy opinions thing soon. It's Song of the Year for Golden, Song of the Year for Golden, Best Pop Duo / Group, Best Song Written for Visual Media, Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media, and then they also were nominated for Remix. I hate saying that. I do wonder though, because what does remix go to? It's like with like album cover. Who gets it? Because clearly it's not the girls because they didn't write it. Did one of them write it? I feel like one of them might have participated in writing. I don't know. So in terms of, by the way, I'm gonna make this really clear to my Twice fans, my oncers. If the soundtrack wins Visual Media Compilation, the girls won't get a physical Grammy. Twice technically will not be helmed as the first group. They will get a certificate for participating. That is generally what happens, because if you look at what and I know this because this happened with like Dear Evan Hansen. I think it was Dear Evan Hansen. So when that musical won Best Theatrical Album, whatever it's called, musical theater album, they're the main actors. They're the ones who got the physical Grammy because they're saying most of the stuff, like Ben Platt, Rachel Bay Jones, all of them. There is a song, I think it's either, oh my god, I don't remember which one it's the, if you guys know Dear Evan Hansen, it's the, I don't remember which song it is. I'm like, it's not Waving Through a Window. It's the other one before the intermission. There are a couple voices you hear that aren't in the actual show. It's just like extra voices. they all got certificates. I know this because one of the actresses was on another show at the time called Come From Away, Jenna. She had gotten a certificate that stated that she had participated in the recording of the album. So I do believe that if they get compilation, it will go like a certificate. Like, this is recognition that you participated, because while Strategy is on there, I don't think they would get it for Strategy. They did record a version of Touchdown. So Takedown. Oh my god, I always say Touchdown. I don't know why I always say Touchdown and not Takedown. So yeah, so I'm gonna kind of do like a little review on the movie. I wrote like a million notes because I was watching this and I was like, oh, this is a lot. And then I'm gonna give my rating of this. I'm also going to talk about the soundtrack a little bit because I have feelings that Lilia does not agree upon. Can I just say, I don't think they should do a sequel, but they should do what is the word I'm looking for when a show will do like an episode and it's different every episode, a anthology series. And I think they should do one of all the hunters from the past, starting from the first to like the Starlight Sisters. Because I think if they did like, because I think there was like 4 or 5 groups were shown in that intro. I think it would be really great to do like a 30 to 40 minute episode on how these girls get chosen, training and then fighting, and what they did that didn't work in secluding this, like sealing the honeymoon forever. Like what went wrong? Like clearly we know for Rumi's mom's Arelize, because she fell for a demon, which by the way, I need to see what this demon looks like, because when the Soldier Boys are in their demon form, they're like slumped over and I'm like, girly pop, how hot was this man that you made a whole child with him? So like, yeah, I'm kind of like would love to see that instead of a number 2. I mean, if you're excited for the sequel, great. I just think it would be so much better to do like an anthology series on these girls. And then you can end the series, literally the last episode. I was thinking about this the other day. The last episode of a series like that could be kind of like the prequel to the movie, showing how, like, we know why Rumi got chosen, because she is the daughter of a hunter, but how did Mira and Zoe get chosen? Because Zoe's all the way in America and then Mira's in Korea. Yeah, but like it gives off, for those who remember this show from the 90s, you have to, it's iconic, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Every couple years a new hunter gets chosen. They're hunters also in the Slayer. Usually the only way a new one gets chosen is if the old one dies. So is that what goes on here? And we really don't know how a Slayer gets chosen. Kind of is just fate. And we don't know until they get awoken, when the last one passes. That's what happened with Buffy. And then they have a watcher. So it would be really interesting to know how these got together, because considering it's always 3 girls, how do you find these 3 girls? How do they always know to find themselves? Like we know with Rumi's mom, they were essentially, as far as we're all in Korea. But now you got one in America. Like, how do you do that? So I just thought that would be more interesting. My Little Soda Pop. That's the catchiest song in the whole series. No? Did I move? I moved over here.
No, I'm just disagreeing with you.
Oh, screw. See, I hate when you do that, because I thought it was a technical thing.
No.
So it's the most addicting. Addictive wise, that's the whole point of the song. It's supposed to be addictive. Whatever, screw you. So I will say, the crazy thing about this movie is that as I was watching it, I was like, this is really unrealistic. And it was always towards the stuff that was like, they're eating a lot. K-pop idols don't eat. They do extreme diets. I felt terrible thinking about that. But like my bias from Twice, Momo, she one time talked about how, like, I think for a week she survived on like ice chips to lose weight. I could be wrong, but it was like something like extreme. So it was like kind of crazy to see, like, obviously they're not going to show these girls starving because they're getting a lot of exercise. But I remember just sitting there being like, that's unrealistic. They're eating a lot of food. There were so many parts where I was like, this doesn't seem realistic to how it really goes to K-pop, because I'm not dumb bitch. I feel bad for their manager. Homeboy was answering the phone in a crowd. Why were they in a plane? It made no sense. Why are we falling out of a plane? What if something had happened? Wind projection, like it was like girly pops. By the way, the demon designs from early on, I think, were really, really well done. Claps to Sony, I say claps, but snaps to Sony's animators for really making such unique designs for these demons. Very much so. I'm sure a lot of them have to be a part of like Korean history culture in the same way that like I know when you watch a lot of anime, like Death Note's a big one. When you look at like a lot of the death gods and stuff, a lot of that's actual like culturally stuff. So really snaps on that. I will say that plane scene was kind of funny. Watering the plant with coffee, I was like, same girl, same. But kind of crazy when they jump, half the plane gets sliced open, and I'm like, that shit should be falling right now. Like, how are you gonna fly that above a stadium? It's not up there if half the plane is gone. That was me for most of the movie, because although this is a kids film, all animated films I think are just kids film. Anyone can enjoy them, and you can criticize them for the stupid silly things they do. And that's my opinion. So yeah, add on to that scene, by the way, homegirl was like in the audience, Zoe, killing a demon in front of people. I was just like, how? And then I love that Bobby later was like, I really love those special effects. Dude, you are part of management. You would know. I can't. They really got them like oblivious. And it's crazy because there were certain scenes that I was like, where are the CC cameras? Where's Dispatch? This is like, where's Dispatch not noticing that this is happening? This shit would already be in the news. Oh, it's so driving me crazy. I would give props. They really chose singing voices that I think mixed well with the speaking voices, because you almost really couldn't tell. Like, I think the first time I had watched this movie, I didn't know it was separate. I thought it was just the same person speaking and singing. I didn't realize it was two different like categories. By the way, besides Kevin Wu, I'm really not going to name actors. I think that's going to be the decision I make, just because I struggle with saying people's names, and I don't want to just sit here and try to say someone's name over and over again. There are going to be a few exceptions to that in future episodes. If it's an actor or a Thai actor that I know really well that I can say their name, I just want to kind of make that clear, because I don't want to sound like the idiot struggling to say someone's name. Just pointing that out. But Kevin's got like the easiest name. We should just call this Hey Kevin. But no, the girls who sing this, it's so good. I'll give him that. I follow most of them on Twitter. I know the girl the woman who does Rooney's singing voice. She was an SM trainee. SM really knows how to fumble the bag, don't they? I think it's because she got too old, someone said, or she decided she didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, bullshit. How you fumble a bag like that? Come on, SM. Also, I don't want to hear it from SM fans. I'm an SM fan through and through. I think that's crazy. I know she has written some songs for like aespa and stuff, so she's really in depth in that, which I think is great. I will say props to her really putting her all in. I know that doing this movie kind of really hurt her voice a lot, and she has since struggled, I think, a bit with singing those high notes, but she still puts her all in it, and I really hope they do get at least one Grammy, because they deserve it. Not for visual media, though, because I think that needs to go to Sinners. Snaps for Sinners. We definitely got to do an episode on Sinners. I just know that we can't call it what I want to call it. That one line by Haley. YouTube will flag that. So, Derpy Tiger. Just a quick note. I'm obsessed with that little thing. I want a plushie, but I also know I can't. His little eyes. It's like so cute. My Girls Twice. I feel like I'm going all over the place, so I'm trying to really establish how we're gonna do these reviews. So I'm kind of going here because I don't want to do like a beat for beat on what goes on in the movie. I kind of want to hit certain points in certain places. I don't know if my editor is gonna agree with me on that. It's like kind of little things where I'm reading my notes and I'm like, I can talk about this, but I also want to mention this. BTW to everyone listening, if this was happening in real life, those girls would have lost a long time ago. Like, no offense, but when you look at the trajectory of like fans between boy groups and girl groups, boy groups are just way higher. Like those Soulja Boys, that Soda Pop song would have got all of us in a heartbeat. Like, no joke, we would have lost. We would have been over. We would have taken over by that one song. The Huntress wouldn't have you got to agree with me on that, Lilia. It's so true. Like, it's like looking at BTS. If BTS were the demons. No, but I'm saying not song wise. I'm saying like popularity wise. If BTS was supposed to be like the Soulja Boys, we would all be screwed. No one would be able to save us, considering how big they got. The Ajashis like running into one of them. That's how you know you're screwed when the Ajashis are like into the boy groups, because they go hard. Like those women go hardball on their idols. I was like dying over that. I was like, that's such a good like pinpoint to put in there, because I feel like a lot of people seem to forget that those older women, they go hard for their boys. So I thought that was great. I love that Twice gets mentioned a lot. I will say that they are in hand everywhere. I'm a Twice girly through and through, so it's kind of surprising that I didn't jump on this sooner. But again, I didn't have Netflix. My one gripe, though, I will say with Netflix on this film, or maybe Sony Pictures, I didn't understand why they put footage of Twice in the credits singing. I know I'm driving to the end credits, but it's because I'm mentioning Twice here. So their version of Takedown is what ends the movie and the credits, and then it like goes from the credits, right? We go from the main ones, and it was almost like a post-credit scene. It was just Twice singing the song. I think it would have been better having the singing voices of the girls, but that's just me, because it just didn't make any sense. I'm not gonna complain too much. I love my girls. I just thought it was like kind of weird that it came into that. So what was his name in Squid Games? He was the oh my god, the main evil guy in the black suit. He was in this. He's the name of the big bad voice. You didn't watch Squid Games? I did too. I didn't. I only watched the first season. I'm not talking about the actor's name. I meant like, oh, I hate myself for this. Oh my god, I forgot what they called him. I almost said Game Master, but I'm like, that's not it. That's not right. I had the time of my life. The front man of Squid Games. He is like the big bad, like the main like evil villain thing. He's got a sexy voice. Homeboy has been doing American films for years. I never noticed that he was in like G.I. Joe and stuff. He's got a really sexy voice. It works. I was into it. I was like, hell yeah, girly pop. I like it. Every time I did the she's like, she lit him up. You know he does got that good like. See, stop. Like, damn. Every time I was like, you know what? I get it too. If I heard that voice in my ear telling me things, I'd listen too. 100%. Like, take me. This is such an all over the place. But I'm saying, so Soda Pop happened. No, is it before Soda Pop that we see them, Genu, and then like, yeah, because it's early on we see Derpy Tiger. We see not even a slip, like a second of that tiger. And I was like, I'm in love with this thing. I have a million keychains already. I was like, oh, this is where they do the fan post scene with the. I've only seen Jungkook do it. What is such a dumb scene? By the way, the Soulja Boy designs, now that we're talking about them, they're not terrible. They're actually really good. I love Mystery the most. And this is not me being biased because I've met Kevin Wu. I for some reason, it's always the characters like Mystery. He reminds me a lot of, I know Baby is the one that reminds everyone about Suga. There's something about Mystery that I'm like, that's my bias coded right there. Romance, it's not the one with the big hair, right? Is it Romance? It has the ugliest hair design. And I'm not the only one, because there's a guy on YouTube who does like a recap, animated recap. He did one for K-pop demon hunters. So when they look like demons, they look like tiny and gross. And then it does the fan pose. And Romance is the only one who doesn't get like a sexy design. I was like, facts, because what is that hair? This is not me talking shit to the animators, but why was his hair so big? Are you looking it up? Isn't his hair like weird and pink and big? Also, Abby was like not it. Like if they ever made a live action, which they aren't, I think Wonho would make a perfect. Is it Abby? Or, like, right? Is Abby? Because like it's Wonho. He's Wonho coded. But it was something about their faces that I was like, I get Mira. I wouldn't want to be next to them either. Like, they really only shipped them because they all have pink hair. And I think that's hairist. But my girl Zoe, she knew what was up. Poor Baby. He had no one. He was the weirdest one out of all of them. I hated that. Goo goo gaga. I fucking hated that shit. I was like, because you know what it was? You know what's funny? That is the equivalent of everyone calling Yoongi a cat. Because for us, if Yoongi ever went on like a live, which he won't because of circumstances, and he ever went meow, that's what that is. That's what the equivalent is. And you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Okay. I also, by the way, it was just kind of funny again to go back and forth. It was kind of crazy to see them bring in a lot of K-pop group elements, like having the Soulja Boys do a dance outside in the middle of the public, because you do see a lot of newer, smaller groups from smaller companies do that. BTS has done that. I've seen some really smaller groups do that in Korea a lot, right? I just thought it was kind of weird that at the end of the performance, a giant soda pop came out of nowhere. Made no sense. I was like, okay, cool. I know this is an animated movie, but I don't know. If I was in this universe, I'd be like, huh? Like, you ain't gonna get me. I'm too Hispanic for this shit. Like, and then the very next scene, they're releasing gold. By the way, Rumi, why do you have the song on your phone to publish? Is that how that works? You're a music designer. You watched the movie, right?
Yeah.
You know the scene where she like uploads the song? I was like, that's not right. That's not how that works. I may not be a music producer, but I know that's not how that works. How does she have access? Like, does Celine just give her all this access? Because, like, homeboy, by the way, Bobby was in the building already. And he was like, guys, your song is trending. It got released 30 seconds ago. There's no way. Get the fuck out of here. And homeboy, where'd you come from? Let those girls rest. Poor Mira and Zoe. They just want, like, a day. Let them couch. All right? Let them couch for a bit. And then again, they go to like the arena where they're gonna, not the arena, the like staging place, kind of almost like where they do the debut stages, you know, when they do like a comeback, like whatever it's called. And they were like, she was like, when Rumi's voice starts getting messed up, because I'm gonna get into obviously why in a second. And she's like, I just need 5 minutes. And they go, we go on in 10. How are you going on in 10 minutes? You were just rehearsing and there's not one fucking fan in a seat. You like sacrifice those 2 bodyguards. What the hell? Like, save those 2 men. They're going to die out there. They're like, there's some crazy fans. There was that one fan that kept ripping off his shirt. I'm like, homeboy, it looks like it's summertime in Korea. It's hot over there. Why is that you're wearing like 50 shirts under a shirt? Like, how are you ripping that all off? Like, my dude. Can I just, I'm really going, am I going all over the place? All right, it flows right. We'll work on it. It's just, this is one of those movies where I'm like, I don't mind going all over the place. So, there was so much stuff in this that I was like, oh, I relate to this. Like Zoe falling for the fake tonics. That was my mom. If your mom ever fall for those fake, like, doctors, online things, that was her. I was like, girlie, you know those aren't going to work. But good on Daniel Day Kim playing such a weird doctor. It was so weird. I was like, what is happening here? But Zoe's person, by the way, so out of the 3 of them, Mira is my favorite. I liked her design the best. I don't know what it is that I was just like, she was the one I was drawn to the most. She's very like tough, but has some underlying issues. She very gives off like that friend you could go to, not to say that Zoe isn't, but she's the one that you can go like talk to about things. And I think that's what made it so hard when she found out like about Rumi and Thebes, because she was like, she even says it, so this is what you lied to us, because she was hurt the most because she felt like she could be the one to talk to you. I love that they mentioned that Zoe's a maknae. She's obviously another fan. I really like Rumi as well, and that she's an American. So she's a Korean American. That's great. Rumi's a Nepo baby. This whole group is just born about her. I was like, crazy. We don't support Nepo babies. No, I'm kidding. I can't say we don't support Nepo babies here. I love my heart. So kind of just like to talk about the main characters. I don't know. Mira was my favorite. Zoe's a second. Rumi's kind of just there. I know we were following Rumi. I just was like, I didn't care. Design wise, Mira was also my favorite. Zoe's a close second. Hair wise though, I hated Rumi's ponytail, and I know a lot of moms this Halloween did too, because I'm like, girlie, how do you sleep with that? Like, let it loose. Cut it. You're not Rapunzel. If you cut it, you're not gonna lose your powers. You're gonna be fine. And that being said, so to go back to this whole Nepo baby thing, obviously we know Rumi's the daughter of a hunter, a Starlight sister. I can't remember who her mom's name was, and her mom, I don't know if they never mentioned clearly, and this is why I think an anthology series would be great. We don't get much background on Rumi's parentage. Like, we know that she's the daughter of a hunter and a demon. Great. Cool. We're never specifically told if she died at birth. I don't think that was mentioned. I don't think it was mentioned. I can't remember. Someone can correct me in the comments. And I know that we know that Celine raised her. I would like to know if past hunters, if one is like a direct line, like a direct lineage, because it seems like it's not, but then in this case it directly was. And I want to know if because she's half demon, that kind of set in stone why she was picked, or the fact that maybe she was raised by a former hunter. I really would like to know the background on that. Selena was terrible. She was a fucking bitch. And you know how I know? Because they never resolved that at the end, basically. Because how is it your friend who trusts you? This is why I think she didn't die directly at birth. It must have been like later on. Maybe not fully, like, because I don't think Rumi, I think it might have been Rumi was a baby, but I don't know how direct. But it was very clear long after that she entrusted Selena with Rumi. Because how are you going to be entrusted by your friend, someone you're close to raise her child, and you're basically emotionally damaging this poor girl by saying half of you should be hidden away because you're a demon, because of your father. And it's like, I get it, she's traumatized. Also, I want to know what happened to the third sister. We never see her, never mention her. Like, did she die or whatever? Because again, Buffy rule wise, if we're going Slayers, the former ones have to die for the next ones to come up until the end of the series. This one, can a former hunter still be alive when the next group? Clearly yes, because we see the new hunters and stuff. So it's just a lot about this like whole idea of hunters that I would love to know about. But when we get to the end of the movie and like it's been revealed that Rumi's half demon and she runs to Celine, and she's like still under this mindset of like, no, we can fix this. You'll see that we could hide. We'll tell them it was a lie. They're being tricked. I'm like, homegirl, you have damaged this girl enough. Let up. Because you know for a fact that I think in my heart of hearts, right, going back to like how Mira is, she's the friend you go to when you're having issues. If from the very beginning they had let the girls know, Mira and Zoe, that Rumi was half demon, that her mom had a child with a demon and had explained it, I think they would have accepted her as she was. But so much time passed that as soon as it was exposed, especially after it was revealed that she was getting help from Juno, it like ruined any, like obviously we fixed it at the end, but it's like that really messed it up full on. And I'm just like, damn, it's just I'm like really a lot of baggage between all three girls, and we always hear it because the demons are in their ears with it, except for me. Like Zoe is like when they get mind controlled, like at the end it's like, you're gonna be alone, and Mira's like, you don't deserve a family. It's like a lot of baggage there. Also it's very, I did find it funny that like, to go back on the dispatch thing, we never got like a joke of like, are they together? We got the little girl shipping them, the weird little girl that like shipped Gino and Rumi. But I was like, there's no dispatch in this universe. Also, they're the only two groups. Because at award ceremony, it was all just them two. I was like, damn, where's everyone else? Where are your Red Velvets and your Twices and your, like Twice and I think it was it was Meow V, one of these newer groups. They had posters in one of the backgrounds. And I'm like, where are they? Why was Twice not nominated? I thought it would have been so funny is if during the ending when they were like, because of 106 breakup, we have to cancel the awards tonight, but here are all the winners. And then like just one of them was like, Twice. That would have made it so realistic. I just thought that would have been so good if they had done that. It would have been so great. Homeboy was lying through his street from the very beginning, and she fell for it way too easily. I hate when movies and shows do that, where it's this protagonist who's kind of been sheltered, like she has been, and she's clearly never interacted with a boy that she's been romantically interested in, and she automatically believes everything he says. Because, he kept her secret or whatever. I thought that was like I don't like when movies do that. Because I was like, girl, it was so obvious he was lying. That wasn't how it happened with him and his family. And it's like, not even just because I knew it because of spoilers. I think if I had watched it without having heard anything, it's obvious to the audience. And that's my one gripe with the storyline. That I'm just like, we're really going that route? Like, she's a strong girl. She's supposed to be so like focused on the planet and everything, to the point where she's kind of forcing this next song to come out so that they can close the honeymoon and it's golden and whatever, and they can be done with it. And the first boy that she is attracted to, suddenly it's, I believe everything you say because you're hot. Not that exactly, but you know what I mean. Like it's like, couldn't we have done it somewhere else? Like it could have been, I don't know, I'm not a screenwriter. It could have been like, oh, he saved her a couple of times, or he did something like he decided not to take a soul or something. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
I would have fallen for it too.
I know you would have, which is why I'm like, if this was real life, if this happened IRL, we would all be screwed because these boys are way too convincing. I hated that. Maybe it's because I just don't want to see a strong, independent woman who don't need no man fall for a man like that. So stupid. I just was like, the songs every time she met with him. Where's Dispatch? How's Dispatch not following them? They would have been the New Year's Eve couple that got revealed. So Derpy was funny. I don't remember the bird's name, but he was great. I'm gonna keep mentioning Derpy Tiger. He's gonna be a balloon at the Thanksgiving Day parade. I'm so excited. Let's see. I wrote so many notes, guys. It's like kind of crazy. Like, you wouldn't believe the fan signing thing. The fact that they were in the. That was another thing that I was like, why was it 3 separate posters? If you need all the fans, wouldn't you do one group poster? I'm nitpicking such small things. I will say the movie's really good that you kind of nitpick the smallest thing because you're just like, why didn't you do it like this? It would make more sense to do it like this. It doesn't do anything for the plot. I just thought it was funny as a K-pop fan to kind of watch that and be like, why were they signing posters of just one member? Wouldn't you have one of all 3? Those fangirls, by the way, the one that shipped them, let's go back on her. She goes up and goes, I'll keep your secret. That was scary. She was the most terrifying K-pop shippers are scary people, let me tell you. No thank you. Like, y'all scare me. The straight ones, I'm the ones who like gay ship. I'm sorry, I can't do it with shipping. They got her. That was the other thing that got me towards the end. They got her. They got an old man who was in the bathhouse, which, damn, that bathhouse, by the way, when they go in those leather outfits, must have been uncomfortable. But they got him. And then they got, like, all the people on the train. Are they dead? They're dead, aren't they? Because that was the one thing I was like, you know what would have been nice in the ending? If we had seen those people. Like, you telling me you killed a child. They killed a child, Lilia. Homegirl had it coming, though. Maybe don't ship people IRL. That's terrible. Speaking of those leather outfits, I do like the designs of the outfits. It very much was very K-pop-esque. Like, I can see a lot of K-pop idols wearing what they were wearing. Although Homeboy needed a heavier shirt because those buttons kept popping off. Like, I know that was his bit, but like Wonho takes his shirt off. He doesn't let it break open. Wonho today, by the way, the zipper, right when he zipped and it broke, and then I'm so sad his tour had to be canceled. He's coming to New York though to do a fan meet. I didn't win. I entered it. I bought an album. I didn't win. I'm really sad. I love him. I saw him his last tour. It would have been so funny. I was wearing a shirt. He went to, I think, the Billboard offices today, and they had a picture of Abby on the wall, and he's like, my twin. But yeah, Homeboy wore some really tight shirts. Like, they popped off. I also thought it was funny that they kept showing their eyes as abs and then corn, and it became popcorn. I was like, girls, come on, we have to do better than this. But I would do the same shit. I'd be staring at him like, ha. Yeonjun, he went a little too far. I'm excited for those photo cards, but damn. I'll talk about this at the end when we talk about the music, because I do want to talk about the albums and what they did. I think that's about, I guess to talk more about the plot, I'd have to go into the music, because the music really kind of holds in a lot. So in terms of like animation wise, plot wise, the movie is really good. It's a good sit through. I had finally been able to sit through it last night, and I don't like saying it's sit through like a bad thing. I just am that type of person where if I'm gonna watch something for the first time, I really need to be in a right headspace. And I've been really hard for this one because I do work really weird hours, and there were just other things I wanted to watch first. It's a really entertaining movie. I wish I would have been able to see it in theaters the few times they had to put it out. They did it last week and I missed it just because I ended up getting busy. And then yeah, there's not really much else to say, but yeah, congrats to Sony for beating Disney again, because Lord knows no one's gonna go see Zootopia 2. I keep forgetting it's coming out. Damn, they're gonna lose the Oscar this year for anime. I don't know who the contenders are for animated film this year. I would really have to look it up who is in consideration. I don't want to say K-pop Demon Hunters is the forefront. I think right now the front contender, because I think Zootopia 2 would be under that. What else released? That was last year. I was gonna say that was last year. They won last year, so you'd have to look at eligible movies for this year. That's not getting nominated.
It still says The Wild Robot.
That's weird because that came out. That's already won. No one saw Elio. I forgot Elio was having. You know what everyone remembers from Elio is the post-credit scene of the lizard, and it's not even from that movie. It's from the next Disney Pixar movie that's coming out next year. That's what's so crazy about that. Anyway, let me get into the songs, because if not, we're gonna go on a tangent about Disney. I'm a big Disney girly in that I know way too much about the history, but let me open the soundtrack so I can remember what songs are which. So obviously, song wise, we have Takedown, How It's Done, Golden, which is all of the Huntrix songs, Soda Pop, and then Your Idol, which is the Soulja Boy songs, and then Free, which is the Rumi Juno song, which was my least favorite. Much to Lydia's dismay. Takedown, I listened to one of the Twice version. They didn't really perform it in the movie. It was like the song that they're supposed to use against the demons, and I was like, damn, that would have hit. That was the one that like Rumi was kind of like in between, when Gino was kind of like more in her mind, and she was like, we can't be mean to the demons. It's like, no girl, it's a diss song, you're fine, relax. I don't remember how It's Done is in the beginning. Okay, that's the opening song. I forgot about that one really quickly because it's just in the opening. It's not a bad song, but it's the one that I hear the least. And Free. Soda Pop is so catchy. It is such a good, like, what are you looking at?
You know who wrote Takedown? And now it makes sense why you like it so much?
Who?
Melanie Fontana.
That bitch? Isn't she the one? What BTS one did she write? Which one though? I can't remember. Ah, that makes sense. Boy With Love was like my first big BTS comeback. That was when I really got into BTS. It was Boy With Love. Is she like a bitch or something though? Melanie Fontana. Apparently that's the one who wrote Takedown. I didn't realize that was her. I figured they would have gotten it by me saying BTS and Boy With Love. They're an army, but that's fair. I didn't realize that too. She co-wrote it. She wrote it herself or co-wrote it? Okay, with who? I don't know who Lindgren is. Okay, but that to make sense, because that to me is like, besides Soda Pop, those two are like the most K-poppy songs. How It's Done really doesn't hit it for me. How It's Done kind of sounds very 21. I don't know why. What are you looking up now?
I'm trying to see who wrote How It's Done.
Imagine if it's also Melanie. No. Your Idol wasn't too bad. But I feel like I only ever hear the snippet from TikTok. I don't really ever hear the whole thing a lot. But I do like the edits. It does sound like a song that NCT would do. Soda Pop is definitely, like you said earlier, no one heard it, but it is very much a cat dog. It's a very TXT debut album song.
Which one?
Soda Pop. It is very early baby TXT. Like, NCT Dream, because they had chewing gum. It's very much giving like, what's third gen debut song?
The GOT7 song.
Which Just Right. Yeah, it gives off very much like cute boy, we're so adorable, you're gonna fall in love with us vibe, which is what it is, and that's how you get them. It's, Golden. Yeah, Golden's not my favorite. I don't understand why it's the one that got nominated. It's very much that we're gonna do this. Like, the music video though was very much every typical music video, K-pop music video ever made. The very dramatic stare off and the door opens and they walk through and this is who we are. And I was thinking about so many older K-pop groups like FX and things like that. So let's talk about Free for a second. I didn't like Free. It was the one song out of all of them that I was like, I don't care. I also just don't like the slow romantic songs. And then Juno just out of nowhere like sped through when he opened his mouth for the first time, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. I I'm not into this. So yeah, I think that's about it. I don't know what else to talk about when it comes to this movie. I promise not to say that every time. It's just, what do you look? You guys have to see this. She's looking up so intensely into things.
The person who wrote Free.
Yeah.
Was Jenna Andrews.
Jenna Andrews.
She wrote Butter.
You telling me they got 2 BTS girlies in this shit? No wonder this is like an addicting album.
And Permission to Dance and Dynamite.
They got the
She co-wrote it and produced some of it.
Okay, well, to be fair, I haven't heard Dynamite and Butter in a long time, or Permission to Dance. Not that they're my least favorite BTS songs, but again, sometimes you get some hits and sometimes you don't. I'm sorry, I just didn't like. It's not even the song's fault. It's just that he sings so fast. I don't know what note they gave that man. Like, no, I don't know who Gino's singing voice is. I'm sorry. It's nothing against that. I just didn't like how quickly it didn't fit with the tone and beat of the song to me. And I'm not a music person, but it was like hearing it, I was like, oh no, let's continue. Let's keep going. Like, let's wrap this up. So it just wasn't in for me. I mean, I have to listen to How It's Done again. That's the one that goes nails, mascara. Like, that's the beat of it, right? Mascara. Fit check for my napalm era. I don't remember. We're gonna get copyrighted. Isn't that? Yeah, that's what I said. I have to listen to How It's Done more. So, congrats again to the K-pop Demon Hunter girlies, Huntrix, for getting nominated again. Woo. They're gonna sing on the parade. I'm pretty sure they're singing Golden. By the way, now that I'm mentioning that, I don't know when we're dropping this. I think we need to drop this before Thanksgiving. If you are listening to this and you're so excited to see these girls on the parade, I say this every year on Twitter, on my personal Twitter. I say this every year on Instagram. I say this whenever I can. The parade, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, is always lip sync. It does not matter if you were super highly trained vocal wise. It is impossible to sing on that parade live. New York, for some reason, on the parade always gets super fucking cold. It's always super windy. There's no way around it. It's just near impossible. You kind of just have to deal with it. They're gonna lip sync. The issue is that, for me, you know how you know someone's a really good singer, doesn't lip sync a lot, is when they suck at lip singing. And that's not always the truth. Actually, let me take that back, because it's not always true. Because there have been a few instances where I've seen artists, I'm not gonna name who will lip sync, and I'm like, no, you know you're doing it wrong. If you're gonna lip sync at your actual shows, that's a problem. But when it comes to like parades and stuff, you know they're not used to it when they're lip syncing us off. Because I know Kristen Chenoweth years ago was on one of the parades and she was off. That woman can sing. Let me tell you, she can sing. So if you're watching it and it sounds and looks like it's lip sync, it is. Everyone does it. All the Broadway shows do it. And mind you, those people are performing 8 times a week. So just be aware of that. Like, they actually film themselves recording the audio for the parade. And that's how they preview themselves actually being on the parade. So, in terms of, like, I think it's kind of a wrap on the movie itself. I don't really have much to say. It's a really good movie. I have high hopes for it at the Grammys. I don't see, like I said earlier, I don't see winning remix. That's such a weird award. I feel like it's gonna go to Gaga. I think I've heard that Gaga Abracadabra remix. I couldn't tell you what it's gonna go to. I could see it winning pop duo and group. I don't know why. I feel like that's gonna be the one it takes. I don't see it getting record or song of the year. If it does, good for them. I feel like those two are going to go to Gaga or Sabrina Carpenter or Bad Bunny, which I don't know why I'm getting in that one. About to do a Grammy episode, but and visual arts. I mean, I'll repeat this again. I think visual media is going to go to either Wicked or Sinners. So, but I do think they're going to snag one, and I do think it's going to be a battle between Sinners and Huntrix, which is hilarious when you think about it, for the Oscar for original song. As much as I like this movie, I do hope Sinners gets its dues, because the music in that movie is fantastic, and we will be doing an episode on it at some point. But I could see it splitting. I could see it going to one or the other, because I don't know what else is like eligible besides like whatever crap Disney's about to release. But Disney, I don't think, has released really anything that's caught an eye, and then that one woman who gets nominated every Oscar season. In terms of ratings, I'm going to give K-pop Demon Hunters, I want to say, an 8 out of 10. There were a few things that I was kind of iffy on. But it wasn't like a movie I fast forward. I really enjoyed it. I think quality wise, it was really good. Script wise, could have been a little bit better. I feel like I wish we had delved in a little more in the past. It is what it is. And then that's kind of really it. So, yeah. So, according to Lilia, she is Googling this. Apparently, it was a bunch of BTS producers and writers that worked on the soundtrack, which makes sense considering they would want to work with like a top K-pop group on a film like this, like producers and writers. I'm just surprised it's her. That being said, I guess the one thing I should mention, because I noticed this before I watched the movie, I noticed this was happening, a small controversy that happened during the film's release, and then we'll kind of end it because I have an opinion on it, is I know that when the writers, directors were all being interviewed, they were asked, you know, who is this character supposed to be representative of, and who is this, and obviously a lot of names were kind of thrown around. Like, it was very obvious that like Baby is very much Suga in that blue hair. It's like teal hair. I think that's one of them said that. I know there was one, I could be wrong, I think there was a lot of people were mentioning that. I know there was some mention of certain TXT members, and BTS was the big one, obviously, because you're not gonna, here's the thing, from now until the end of time, even 100 years from now, you're not gonna be able to do anything K-pop related without mentioning BTS. The one exception, in my opinion, is anything before BTS's big debut. Debut and onward, or at least until they got big. And I think it's because going back to when I met Kevin Wu, we're gonna full circle on K-pop the musical. K-pop the musical had been workshopped, I think, years before DNA had hit big here. So there's no mention of BTS or things like that. When you watch K-pop the musical, if it ever toured, it is very much Gen 1, Gen 2, not Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 groups. It's very much SM coded, hence why they had Luna from FX in it, because the boy band in it had foreign members. It was very much, this is Super Junior. The girl group was very much, this is either Girls' Generation, Red Velvet, or funny enough, FX. And Luna's character, I'm pretty sure, was supposed to be like Boa. So to kind of just be like, I feel like anytime you do K-pop now, there is no way not to mention BTS in some capacity. What was the guy from Silk Sonic? Anderson. He's no offense, I don't really like the dude. After I heard what happened with him and his ex, the one that he met BTS with, he like divorced her and I think got with some younger woman and took the kids. I don't know what the full story was, but I remember reading that and being like, what the fuck? He did a movie based around Korea, I think for his son, who is obviously a biracial child, and they mentioned BTS in it. They had K-pop idols in it, and they mentioned BTS because he's close with them. You know, Just Dance doing K-pop songs. So the first one might have been BTS. Maybe I'm wrong. No, what was it? Oh no, it was 21.
I think so. No, it was some
Big Bang. Had to be Big Bang.
Could have been Gangnam Style.
Oh no, you're right. It was Gangnam Style. But I'm saying like after that, like it's impossible not to put BTS and things like this. Was it Gangnam Style? It was Gangnam Style. Well, it was Gangnam. Okay.
And then followed by I Am the Best by 21.
YG hitting it big. Don't start doing the dance. So I was wrong on that one, but BTS is on it. I will say the thing is,
It was like 2 years ago they had their first song on it.
really.
Yeah, it took a while.
Well, what I'm saying is you can't really do K-pop anything anymore without mentioning BTS in some capacity, is the thing. Anytime they do a parody of K-pop, BTS is in it. Literally, The Simpsons went to Korea for an episode for like a snippet, and the words BTS were in the background. And I think some other cartoons have mentioned them and had them there, and it's like they're always around. I think maybe like the one that maybe didn't was We Bare Bears, but I think it's because the creator is, I think, he might be Korean. Oh, he knows K-pop because one of the characters is a Korean girl. My favorite scene is when they meet Chloe's mom and she's like, "Annyeonghaseyo," and then Snow Bear is like, "Annyeonghaseyo," and then the other two are like, "Hayo." But they do a monster. So I wonder. No, but you know what's funny? I say they don't mention BTS, that's a lie, because on Twitter they had designed a poster of the three dressed like BTS. So it's, again, really can't do nothing K-pop related nowadays without some form of mention of BTS in some capacity. So you have the director and the producer talking about, hey, this is who this idol was. I know there was a lot of argument in terms of who is Rumi based on, because apparently her ponytail happened to look like Jennie's from Blackpink in Kill This Love. I think that was the big one. And then she said, like, yeah, I think what was said was, it was like, yeah, one of the inspirations, and then Blinks ran off with it. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm an ARMY, I'm a MOA, I'm a Oncer, I'm a whatever, a Rev Love, whatever Pentagon was called. What were we called? Universes. I don't remember. I am not crazy into the fandom universe like that. I'm a multi-stan. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is on it, because I listen to everything and I collect everything. I've never been big on the ARMY fights online, or MOA gets a little crazy. I don't like when fans are negative, toxic. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of that with Blinks, because that's the side I kind of see. But I'm also against when ARMY gets like that. I block both sides when they get like that toxic. That being said, I do think it was kind of ridiculous that there was a lot of fights over, but she originally said this, and now they've gone so negative on the film. When in reality, when you look at all three girls, they are bits and pieces of multiple idols. I see a little bit of Boa, I see a little bit of Jennie, I see a little bit of Sana, all these members from like all these different girl groups, in the same way that the boys are all these different boys. I just think it's really ridiculous to like suddenly spew hate at the creators because your favorite idol was not the definition. And it wasn't just with the girls, it was also with the boys, because whenever it was mentioned that like, oh, I think it was Abby was the big one, because a lot of people were claiming, oh, he's Wonho, someone else was getting mad like, no, he's this one. And it's like, no, Abby looks a lot like Wonho. I'm sorry, I have to like put my foot down on that one. And Baby very much was sugar to me. I think one of them, someone said was like Youngjin. Was it Baby? I don't remember which one. Mystery was definitely that guy from one of no, one covered his eyes. But it was like very clear that there were certain idols that like, oh, you know what other, I just realized, so funny enough, because again, it happens. You can't really do boy groups anymore. You can't even do boy groups with BTS. So like, yeah, that was, I think was a ridiculous argument, because this also happened with Turning Red when Four Town was a thing, because one of the members was based on Jimin, and everyone said it wasn't true. And then the director, creator, whatever, came out and said, oh yeah, no, he's based on Jimin. So it's like, you guys need to calm down. It's like very clear that sometimes the most popular things are going to be what certain things are based on. But also when you look at a movie like K-pop Demon Hunters, which very much was kind of done with a lot of Koreans behind the helm, very clearly how well they respected the culture and everything. They're gonna know more about K-pop than the like average person walking down the street. So maybe let's calm down on fan wars a little bit, because it's getting to be too excessive. It's getting to be exhausting, and it's not fun. None of this is fun anymore. We're gonna talk more about this when we talk about the Grammys, because it's not fun anymore. So that's kind of what I have to say on that. So I guess I should do my song of the episode, right? So I'm obviously going to pick something from K-pop Demon Hunters. Soon I will pick songs randomly at some point. But since we are doing K-pop Demon Hunters, I am going to say my song for the episode is going to be Take Down, the Twice version, because those are my girlies. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye. All right, guys, that's it for this entry. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts. On Twitter, you can find us at FG Diaries Pod. On Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram, you'll find us at FG Diaries Podcast. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hope you all have a wonderful fangirly day.